Okay, I'm live. We'll see how this goes. I'm a little nervous, but I moved, set up a little thing of Treg's treats and toys over in the corner. Oh, I've got something in my hair. Hoping that that helps. If you guys can hear Toy Story, I'm really sorry. I tried to turn it down low enough that you guys couldn't maybe hear, but Treg could hear to keep him occupied, but he's mad at me right now because I'm not spending time with him. I'm here. This kind of gives you a dose of my reality. Treg expects me to be very attentive to him, so these 30 minutes should be interesting, but I'm so excited. We are about to go live with my dear friend Hayley all the way over in Africa. Let me select her name, and it says we're waiting for you. We'll see how her connection is. She'll have to tell you a funny story. If you guys didn't see our Instagram story earlier, you are gonna laugh. Hi!
Hi!
How are you?
It's still dark!
Yeah, I was gonna say I can see you, but it's still dark.
Yeah, no, we have power, but one of the light bulbs blew when the power came back on, so we're still in a little bit of darkness. But it's okay.
Tell everyone.
You have Wi-Fi.
Text me like an hour before we're about to go live. So funny. Hayley messaged.
Yeah, that's why I do it.
The power's out again, which woo, Treg. I knew he'd be very Can you say hi?
Hi, Greg!
Did you climb on the table? That's a guilty face. Yes, he just climbed on the table.
Yeah.
It happens to us occasionally when we're talking. We won't hear from you in our little group for like a few days, and you'll say like, "Oh, power's gone out," or Wi-Fi's.
Yeah, our longest is a week with no power at all. But that's a couple of years now. It's usually pretty good.
It's usually pretty good. Okay. And you said it's been a while since your last power cut, so of course.
Yeah. They've done a load of work on it, so it's not very often we have a power cut now. But typically, it was tonight.
Are you saying hi? All right.
Hi.
Play. I tried to set him up with snacks and toys, and of course he comes over and tears down my little setup here. So
yeah, River's in bed. We're safe from River.
Is he in bed? Oh, I was going to ask you, what time is it there?
It is 25 to 9 now, so just after 8:30.
Okay, that's what I told everyone. I thought, okay, I think it's 8:30 their time, but I wasn't
sure.
Yeah. So for everyone who doesn't know Hayley, this is Hayley. She's the mom, the runner over at the page of I Am River. She's got 2 sons, River and Skylar, and her husband. Would you mind, kind of elaborating, telling us more about yourself for those who don't follow you yet?
Yes, I have my oldest son is just turned 8 last week. That's Skylar, and we have River, who is 5 in 3 weeks, which I still can't believe. River has Down syndrome. 5, I can't believe it.
And
my husband
older because he's been in full-time school, but we'll talk more about that later.
Yeah. So we live in a town called Moshi, which is in Tanzania and right at the bottom of Mount Kilimanjaro. It's a bit of a tourist town, which is how I happen to actually be here. I came to Moshi for
Harrison Ford, right?
Yeah, that was last year. I didn't get to meet him actually. That was all my husband.
Your husband.
I was in the background. Yeah, unfortunately. But I came to Moshi in 2008, which was meant to be for 8 weeks. Okay. And at the time, my husband was a street artist, so he was painting and selling his art on the street, and I bought a painting from him.
Wow.
And I'm still here, 11 years later. Yeah, that. So it's, and that's it. We started, I went back to the UK for 5 weeks, saved up enough money for my flight. I had like $300 in my bank. And we spent a whole year making jewelry and painting. We rented like this small house. We had no furniture. We had a mattress and a small camp stove. And we spent a whole year making jewelry and painting, filled, like the room was just full. I took it back to the UK to sell, and we made enough money to open our very first, like, tiny store. You could, like,
so it's
4
not
steps.
the big thing you have now.
No, we opened this in 2011,
Okay.
and then between then and now, it's grown massively. We now have 3 huge art stores.
Right. If the stories you posted, you put a picture of the front of the shop, right? It's huge, and it's
we have. Well, we have 2 of those. We have one in the town, and we have one right at the gate of Kilimanjaro. So everybody who climbs comes through our store.
That is so cool.
Yeah, and we've got one coming in Safari.
Destination of Kilimanjaro. So, which you guys basically
it's impressive. It's beautiful. Yeah, we see it every day. Well, as long as the clouds are not covering it, it's always there. You can see it from our house.
So cool. And if you guys don't know her stories, like, you will just be blown away by the beauty of the town she lives in. I'm always just like watching the background of your stories because it's gorgeous there, and it's just such a different like life than we live, which kind of leads me into the question I wanted to ask you is, what are some from the UK, right? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Playing with my stand. What are the differences you find in everyday life when you lived in the UK now?
For me personally, I think it's time. Whenever we visit the UK now, which we love to do, but once I'm done, I'm done. Like, I feel like everything is busy, everyone's got somewhere to be, and there's just so much going on. Like, here I find we take a step back, and other than school schedules, we haven't really got one. Like, I can't even remember the last time I set an alarm clock, or we don't have any appointments to go to, and because we run our own businesses, that's even laid back. So it's more relaxed. Life in general is just more.
And you can tell from
like, you can enjoy it.
In your post that life is definitely more relaxed. Just
we spend more time in
for fun, like playing in the mud, like just stuff. Yeah.
We're outside a lot. The boys enjoy being outside. Obviously, the weather is very different here. So, and there's a lot more nature and space. At the moment, it's raining. The weather's been all over the place this year. I don't know why, but it's been colder. It's been, it'll rain now, I think, for maybe 6 more weeks. This is when, like, the crops are growing, and but then it'll gradually get hotter. But usually January is boiling, like really hot. But it's not.
Polar opposite weather, basically. From
But it's. I mean, it gets really hot here.
And then,
which for my skin is not great.
River, I don't even think you mentioned, which is funny, which just perfectly describes you and your story, but River has Down syndrome. I don't even think you said that in your introduction, did you?
No,
which
I don't know, maybe. I might have slipped it in.
That's not you. Like, that's the last thing you say.
It's not something I see.
Right.
But
sorry, it keeps moving.
Hi, Craig.
Craig has to be
It's okay.
But you found out that River was diagnosed with Down syndrome in a very unique and unconventional way. Not just for, for anyone, really. So can you share with us a little bit about the diagnosis?
I had a great pregnancy with River. I loved being pregnant, super healthy, no complications, scans fine, everything. I went back to the UK, I think I was about 30 weeks when I went back to the UK. And I planned a home birth. We rented a house, we were going to have a home birth. I just felt safer giving birth in the UK. And everything was planned perfectly, and the labor was great. It was so fast. It was like an hour. He just flew out. Flew out on the living room floor. It was, it was perfect. And then, but I looked at him pretty much straight away, and I sensed it. I think it was more instinct than anything, but I sensed it. But I didn't say anything at the time. Nobody said anything. 2 hours after the labor, we were in bed. sleeping, and it was just great. But as like weeks went on, and we had all our health checks, midwife checks, and nobody mentioned anything. But
Yeah.
I remember.
Are you just kind of keeping this thought in the back of your mind, wondering if
Yeah, I told nobody.
Okay, so you're kind of
not even Reagan.
That thought and forget. You kind of kept thinking it was a possibility, or did you think?
If I'm honest, no, I think I knew, but I think I felt guilty for thinking it, which sounds really strange now. But at the time, I was just.
Sense.
Yeah, and I would look at photos of him.
He doesn't, so does that make
sense? Yeah, exactly. I'd sit there staring at photos, and I'd be like, but I can see it. But then, and I'd even delete the photos where I thought he looked like he really had it. And I'm so ashamed of that now, but
no, don't.
It was. I guess it was a way of dealing with it.
Honest thing, really.
Yeah.
I mean, that totally makes sense. It's funny. I don't remember who posted this, but a while ago I saw a new mom that posted a picture of her kid. It was a throwback, and she said, "If this is you, let me know." She said, "I didn't post this picture when I took it because I thought my child looked like it looked too Down syndrome-y," basically is what she said.
I think when you come into terms with it,
right.
Yeah.
So,
but I think it was at about 4 weeks. A midwife had come to the house, and she mentioned that her words were, "He looks a bit funny," which now I look back and I think, wow. But I knew as soon as she said it what she meant. She didn't even say anything.
Without saying, I think.
Yeah. So she made us an appointment for the next day to go to the hospital to get him checked. And he was seen by people there, and they were like, "No, he's fine. There's nothing. He's fine." So I clung to that, even though I still felt like they'd missed something. They didn't give him a blood test or anything. So we just carried on. Like, we just got on with life. And
right. Because you're getting a bunch of professional opinions saying no, so
many.
Of course you're going to trust
many. Is immunizations to come back here, and he failed his hearing test 4 times, so we had all those appointments for that. His 12-week doctor's check. At that doctor's check, he asked me if his father was Asian, so I think the slanty eyes, they didn't think Down syndrome, they thought his dad was Asian. I do wonder if
you see my son.
I know, but I do wonder if the fact that he's mixed race threw them off a bit, because River didn't have all of the features. Yeah, he didn't have all of the features. He does have the palm crease though, and they checked it. So the fact that they didn't pick up that is strange. But yeah, we came back here when River was 12 weeks old. And we
were in the UK when they said
we were in the UK for 12 weeks.
Oh wow! So
12 weeks.
Your story, but you were in the UK then when they said no, he doesn't.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was our hometown hospital, and we saw many people after that. So we went back to Tanzania at 12 weeks, and we saw a German doctor who just mentioned it. And I just thought, I knew it. You know, she didn't confirm it, but she mentioned it. We traveled to Nairobi the next day, where they've got a really great private hospital. She just said, "Have you heard of Down syndrome?" And as soon as she said it, I was like, yeah. And I was like, I knew.
You're like, why else
but it was,
bring it up?
It was a relief. I wasn't sad, not at all. It was kind of like, finally,
I'm sure you almost felt kind of a relief that someone was seeing what you kept trying to tell everyone.
And it was kind of like, I felt by then that we knew everything was going to be okay. Like, we'd had that time to just be with River without a label. And we could see him developing, and we could see that he was healthy. Like, luckily he had no health issues at all. So it was, it was kind of like we already knew life was going to be okay. So we weren't fearful of that. But we went to Nairobi, and it was confirmed then, and
Oh, okay. And
and
this
that was
was
that.
6 months after he was born, right?
Yeah, 6 months old he was when he was finally diagnosed.
I put a question on here, but I mean, that doesn't really make sense because I thought for some reason you weren't diagnosed. He wasn't diagnosed until you went to the UK. But
No,
questions was it because
the other way around.
He went so long without being diagnosed because it's a common diagnosis in Africa, but I mean, he wasn't even diagnosed in the UK either, so.
Yeah. The hospital that we took him to in Nairobi is a quite a famous hospital, and they're very well trained, so it was quite easy for them to pick it up. And the doctor, the Saw River, also had worked with people with Down syndrome, so he just looked at him and he said he didn't even need to test him. He looked at him straight away and said definitely.
So
but he just said
give you that diagnosis. Like, how did they tell you, or were you?
He was really positive, actually. He just kind of, it was just really, and it was exactly what I needed, because he was just very much, yeah, he has. Like, and I remember him saying to me, just take your baby and love your baby and live your life. And there was no pity.
I love that because
yeah.
Follow Hayley. That is exactly how she lives life. She just loves River, lives her life. Nothing is centered around having Down syndrome in your world.
Well, because it is what it is. Like, we can't. Yeah, and not even, we wouldn't want to change it. It's just that's our life. That's him. Yeah, it's but we are very lucky.
I had a question. What does it mean to have Down syndrome in Africa? Specifically where you live, and what are the differences you find compared to people with Down syndrome, maybe in the States or UK?
Okay, this is a tough question because disability has such a negative stigma here. Down syndrome hasn't really got a name here. You don't see many people with Down syndrome. You see some. We know some people here now, but a very high percentage of families who have a child with Down syndrome hide them away. It's shameful, and that's just it's just lack of knowledge. I sometimes feel bad talking about it because I don't want it to look like I'm talking badly of people, but it's just lack of knowledge and knowing. Yeah, and it was the same in the UK not so long ago. You know, like 40 years ago. Children with Down syndrome were put in institutions, so you know it's kind of back there, but they're hidden away, and it's seen as a punishment from God or witchcraft, and people are shunned by their communities. And worst case, I've heard of stories where hospitals have refused to touch babies when they're born with Down syndrome because they associate it with witchcraft. Children abandoned, at worst killed. So it's tough. It's really hard.
I say those parents, you know, of course it's wrong, but you can't even put a blame on parents because there's just no knowledge, and life is not normalized yet there.
Yeah, and there's a real belief that they've been cursed or that God is punishing them. Like, they truly believe it. And also
stories that happening to kids, maybe like in orphanages that parents believe that they were cursed, things like that. So that's a common misconception, right?
Yeah. It's difficult, and even husbands leave their wives because they think she's brought shame, and it's a really difficult situation. So people tend to just hide it. They keep their children locked away. Like where our store is, the one at the bottom of Kilimanjaro, there's a man with Down syndrome. He's amazing, and he's like 30, 4, I would say now. But a couple of years ago, there was a big campaign in the village, and the pastor in the village started it because he'd been locked in a room for 32 years. And they found out and they campaigned to get him released.
Wow.
But now, and
so your community basically rallied around this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and now he's just part of the community, and you know, he talks, and he hangs out at bars all the time, to be honest. Yeah, and I just think, like, what if he'd have been given that support and that love and nurturing, like, it could have been so much more.
Oh, right.
And he loves his life. He's happy.
Right. That's
yeah.
Which brings me to, you know, kind of this question is, what types of services and like healthcare does River or other people with Down syndrome?
It's really poor. For Down syndrome in particular, there's nothing. Even doctors here don't have a lot of knowledge. Yeah, so like I said earlier, we've got insurance. We go to a very nice private hospital, so we're extremely lucky. But that's a 7-hour drive away. So that's just 7. We drive 7 hours to get there at least. That's in Nairobi. Yeah, and things we can do, like blood tests and stuff. And if there's an emergency, there's a good hospital we can go to. Right. But as far as like everyday care.
Like where people
therapies and things like that, River gets nothing. He's never had a single day of any type of therapy. It's there's no, even things like meeting other parents and things like that, there's nothing. I don't know anybody with a young child.
River doesn't get like therapy, PT, but he still manages to circles around.
Yeah, and that's something I really try to highlight, because I know that all over the world, in even like developed countries, like it's different services wherever you live, and in some places you get everything, and in other places you really have to fight for it. And I see so many things where parents feel guilty because their child is not getting certain things, and I let go of that a long time ago, because like I can only give him what I can give him, and I try so hard to give him everything, and I'm on YouTube all the time, and I read everything, and I learn the exercises, but
and you're kind of living for that. You don't need to take your child to therapy, PT, all the appointments for your child to be successful. A lot of work
absolutely.
is in the home, you know? And
and I think if you can get it, if you can get it, it's fantastic, take it. But, you know, River, he started walking at 2.5. 6 months later, he's riding a trike, jumping, he flips on the trampoline, he's, you know, he's on his scooter, he's playing football at school, and so it's not so active, like incredibly active.
His brother.
Yeah, he's very determined little guy. He knows what he wants, and he will keep going until he gets it. He's way more determined than his older brother. His older brother is super chilled. Like, he quite happily just plods through life.
But
River just wants to,
even the fights they
River just wants to get in there and do everything. Right. They really complement each other, actually. One calms one down, and the other one like gives one a bit more fight, I think.
What do you hope that people learn from River in your town that
I hope people see that, like, having a disability doesn't mean like life has to be bad. Like, I'm a big believer in life doesn't have to be perfect to be good. Like, you can still have a really good life, even if things are not what society says life should be. Right. Like, we're incredibly happy, and I hope people look at him and see him loving life and enjoying life, and realize.
Even a minute on your Instagram, how happy he is and how happy your family
He's
is.
Such a happy guy. Yeah, and I mean, he has all the, he can throw one hell of a tantrum, but he knows what he wants. But he's yeah, he likes his life, and I know that he's happy. Like, that's not something that worries me. I know that he's having a good time.
And how has River
So
kind of like changed people's perspective on Down syndrome in your town that you live in? Because
I always think about his school.
A small area where people know him because he's the boy with Down syndrome, right? Because there's
Yeah.
not many people with Down syndrome now.
Yeah, well, actually, like, I think some people, like, wonder, and, like, people who don't know him, like, does he not? Like, there's a little bit of, they're not sure, because it's not what they expect from someone with Down syndrome.
Right.
They don't expect them to be like River. So, and I remember when he started school, and the school allowed me to go in and do teacher training. His school are fantastic. And the teachers, they just listen to everything, and they've got to know him, and they love him. And they always say to me, like, we just didn't know. Like, we've learned so much from him already, and he's been there a couple of years now, and like, the way they treat him, like, they don't treat him any differently to any other child. He had his school report card yesterday. I'm going to pop that on my stories, actually, I just remembered, but it was so nice that even the report card, there's nothing on there about things he can't do. They don't register that. It's all about, like, what he's achieving. They learn that. Yeah, exactly. He's so welcome there with all the children. There's like 120 children in the school. That's from nursery to high school, and everyone is in the same school. So he mixes with a big range of people, and I just think all of those people. Pardon, sorry?
His brother in the same school then.
Yeah. And I just think everybody in that school is learning from him, and they'll all go back to their families. And if someone is born with Down syndrome in their families, they'll remember River. And it's the same with the people in the community who meet him. And I just think slowly it's just gonna like go off, and people are gonna start being more accepting. I do think it's the best thing.
Have someone like River to kind of see and experience Down syndrome.
Yeah.
You mentioned he goes to school time, right? Like full
He
day.
does.
What does his
he does.
in his life look like?
Okay, River, he's in preschool. We started him off just a few hours a day, and every time we went to collect him, he didn't want to leave. It was
so cute.
It was such a drama getting him to go home. That within 3 weeks of him starting school, he was full time. So he goes Monday to Friday, 8 till 3. He's in preschool, so he's not like in a well, he is in a class setting, but it's more learning through play. He doesn't do a lot of like schoolwork.
It's an introduction to being in a school setting.
Yeah. So he does a lot of like fine motor skills, just normal preschool stuff. It's a Cambridge school. And that video that you saw the other day when he's got no shoes on, like they've never got any shoes on in the classrooms. It's really, really relaxed. Yeah, he loves school. He's never sad about going. He just runs in, breaks my heart, doesn't look back. He's even his first day ever at school, he was gone. But yeah, so he goes to school Monday to Friday. Evenings are always relaxed. We don't really have extracurricular stuff here, so and that's another difference. Like in the UK, kids are always doing something. There's sports clubs, like so much going on. But here, we're just home. The kids are playing outside, and we're building our farm.
Then
the
family is kind of what you guys do after school then.
Yeah. Well, we're building. We started building a farm now about 4 months ago, maybe 6 months.
I was going to ask what you guys do, and that probably takes up quite a bit of your time.
Yeah, it's great though. And that's so great for River's development as well. He's working with the animals. He's helping with the building and planting things and digging.
Learning such.
Isn't very interesting. Yeah, definitely. And he loves it. He goes on the tractor. He embraces it. But yeah, so we're down there most weekends. And then, it's yes, that's seasonal. So what tends to happen there is Reagan, in high seasons, like when we're very busy, Reagan works a lot during those times. Like he'll go in the morning. High season is usually January to end of March, and then June to end of
it right now.
It's just starting, yeah. So we're really busy during those times, and Reagan works a lot. I pop in and out because I'm main carer with the boys as well. But then in low season, Reagan gets to take a lot of time off, and he spends all the time with the family. Then we travel. We love to travel. Yeah. So our days are pretty. It's hard to say about our days.
Just you with the boys, right?
Pardon, sorry. That broke up then.
About traveling. Just like a month ago, you took a big trip with the boys, right?
Yeah, I travel with them alone quite a lot because the summer high season is really long, and that's also the 12 weeks that the boys are off school for summer. So it's not good timing. Like they take their school break while Reagan is really busy in work. So we use that time to, yeah, and so we use that time to visit family, travel a bit.
Oh yeah, family misses you a lot.
Yeah, a lot.
See the boys.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, and it's so fun.
We're already past time a little bit, but if you guys have any questions, I saw comments. They might have just been comments. They might have been questions. But go ahead.
I told you I told someone.
And ask whatever questions you have. I saw someone ask if he had any feeding issues, because that's pretty common with kids with Down syndrome and kind of a red flag. They asked that we're talking about.
Okay. Breastfeeding issues we had with River in the beginning, which was I didn't expect at all because I'd already fed his brother for 6 months, but it was really difficult. But because I didn't have a diagnosis, it was never mentioned like that could be the reason why. So we kind of just went through it, and then he got it after about 8 weeks, and he was exclusively fed then. But other than that, no. I often feel like I don't know the word, but I often feel like I'm not very good at giving advice on things with Down syndrome, because River really has so few issues. Like he's had no medical issue at all, like nothing, other than he wears glasses.
It would be hard if he did, and you had to.
Yeah, we'd have some big decisions to make.
Those 7 hours.
Yeah.
For,
I don't think we'd be able to live here. If there was anything serious, it wouldn't be safe. We'd have to move back to the UK. So luckily, he has good health. Like we've never had any scare, and I see all these families going through all these terrible things, and I feel really lucky, but at the same time, like I'm not the best person to give advice on that sort of stuff, because I also don't want
to give advice on how to live your most everyday normal life.
Just get on with it.
Someone said something too simple, not always running around. That's what my ordinary life said. Micah's mom.
Yeah. It's we're really lucky. We are really lucky with River.
Yeah, and he's the sweetest. If you guys are tuning in, we're going to have this live. We've started putting it on a podcast, so if you're more of a podcast person, you can listen there. And then we'll also put it up on YouTube, so you can watch Hayley's live. If you are just tuning in now, I see some people just barely have joined, so we'll have other ways to watch, and this will be up for 24 hours as well. Hayley, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
Power outages to join us.
Yeah, we got through it.
So much.
Okay, Trig, can you see me?
Bye.
Bye.
Yes.
It was nice to meet you.
Say nice to meet. I wish I could play with River. He would be so fun. You guys would
no, I would love that.
Together.
He's never met anyone with Down syndrome, River. He's never met a child with Down syndrome.
I keep telling you, my husband and I want to visit so bad. So once that farm's up and running.
Yeah, once the house is ready.
River. Thank you so much.